I remember how carefully she carried herself. Not nervous, not exactly. Just measured. Like every step had been thought through before she took it. She stood alone at the front of the courtroom. No lawyer beside her. No stack of files. Just a single folder held close to her chest, like it was the only thing in that room that belonged to her. They said she had filed a false complaint, that she'd accused a corporation of discrimination without sufficient grounds, that her claims were exaggerated, misunderstood, maybe even fabricated. That word hung in the air longer than it should have. Fabricated. Like she had built something that wasn't real. The prosecutor spoke first. Clean, confident, structured. A story that sounded finished before it even began. He walked through timelines, internal reports, statements that all pointed in one direction. Dismissal. The judge didn't interrupt, didn't question, just listened with that look. The kind that tells you he's already decided. When it was her turn, she stepped forward slightly. I'd like to explain. The judge laughed. Not loudly, but enough. A sharp, quick sound that didn't belong in a place like that. Explain what? He said, leaning back. How an entire company suddenly decided to discriminate against you. A few quiet chuckles followed. Not many, but enough. Her hands tightened around the folder. Still, she didn't raise her voice. I'm not asking you to assume anything, she said. I'm asking you to look at what happened. The judge shook his head slightly. That's the problem, he replied. You're asking this court to believe something without substance. Substance. Another word that erased her before she could begin. I have evidence, she said. The prosecutor smiled faintly. Of course you do. The judge gestured lightly with his hand. Let's see it then. But the way he said it, it wasn't an invitation. It was dismissal, already formed. She opened her folder. Slowly, carefully, not rushing, like she knew something the rest of the room didn't. She placed a document on the table, then another, then something smaller. A card. The judge barely glanced at the papers, but his eyes paused on the card, just for a second. Then he leaned forward. Actually leaned forward. The room felt it. That shift. Small, but real. What is this? He asked. Her voice didn't change. This is my identification. The prosecutor frowned slightly. The judge picked it up, looked closer, and then everything stopped. Not dramatically, not loudly, just stopped. Because whatever he was reading didn't fit the story he had already decided. He read it again, slower. The room didn't move, didn't breathe, because now it wasn't about her anymore. It was about him, about what he had just said, what he had just dismissed. What exactly is your role? He asked, voice quieter now. Not mocking, not certain, careful. She met his eyes. I oversee federal compliance investigations, she said, including workplace discrimination cases. Silence. Heavy. Because now, the woman he had laughed at was the one responsible for uncovering exactly what he refused to see. The prosecutor didn't speak. Couldn't. Because the foundation of his confidence had just disappeared. I was sent to review this company, she continued. My complaint was part of that process. The judge didn't blink, didn't move, but something in his posture changed. Subtle, irreversible, because now, every word he had said earlier, every laugh, every dismissal, was still in the room. Only now, it meant something different. She didn't raise her voice, didn't press the moment. She just stood there steady, certain, like she had been from the very beginning. Only now, the room was finally seeing it. The judge placed the card down slowly, carefully, like it carried weight, because it did. And as the silence stretched, longer than any argument ever could, I realized something I won't forget. The moment he stopped laughing was the moment he realized he had been judging the one person who had the authority to judge him.